This mom's video recently went viral, sparking a heated debate in the comments. In it, she's letting her 2-year-old draw on the kitchen floor while she's cooking. Now, she says she's trying to give her daughter the happiest childhood while also healing her inner child, too. She isn't the only parent embracing this type of free play. Another mother's video gained attention last year. She lets her kids have a whatever makes you happy hour, giving the mom and her husband some time to talk. The founder of Engage Kidz, Maxwell, joins us now to share her thoughts on this style of parenting. Patty, it's so good to have you here. So what do you think about this type of free play?
Well, the creativity part, I absolutely love that. And, giving the parents a break, letting them have a minute to talk, this all sounds fabulous. But the reality is that when our kiddos go to preschool, daycare, kindergarten, whatever it might be, and they decide that they're going to take crayons and write all over the wall, there might be a problem.
Well, I was going to say that too. We're trying to find this happy medium between lessening the screen time and allowing our kids to be kids, but there have to be boundaries and rules set in place, right?
They really do. And you can have boundaries and rules, but not be so strict that the kids can't be kids. We want them to have fun. We want them to enjoy. I remember when my son, who's now almost 19, when he was little, like a year and a half, 2 years old, I stripped him down to a diaper. I put baby gates up in the kitchen and I put white paper all over the floor and I just let him paint. And he was covered from head to toe in paint. It was super fun. It was exciting, but there were still some boundaries and some limits to it. It wasn't just paint all over the floor or paint all over the walls, because again, when you start those types of open-ended play activities, the kids will take them to other places, to families' houses, to
Right.
daycare, to preschool, everywhere where we don't want them to do those kind of things.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, we can't teach them that destroying someone else's property, even if it's your own home, is okay. So let's talk about the benefits, though, of free play, because kids do need to explore and use their imagination, and there's a true benefit in that.
Absolutely. I mean, it teaches them so much. And it's also so good for us as adults and parents because we forget how to play. I have families all the time that their child will be on the floor playing and they're sitting up on the couch. And I say, come on, come sit on the floor and play with us. But all of that, it helps with their creativity, their imagination, their expression, their speech, everything helps with any kind of free play that we allow the kids to have. And as much as I love the whatever you want happy hour, the part that I do like at the end of that video clip is that they do have the kids clean up. So they can make whatever kind of mess they want, but at the end, there are still the boundaries of you clean up the mess that you make. So there's still that piece of that
Responsibility.
choice. Yes, and responsibility and awareness that, okay, if you want to dump out, 300 blocks, go ahead, but you're going to be cleaning up 300 blocks also.
I mean, I think it's really important to have this balance and to create this free play time, because parents can kind of get lost in the shuffle too of just raising their kids.
Absolutely, it's hard. Adulting is difficult. And again, we forget how to have fun and play. And today is a perfect example of that. How many of us as parents are going to actually go outside and play in the snow with our kids today? I hope a lot, but I don't know that I will. My kids are a little bit older. But still, even going to have a snowball fight with your teenagers, how fun is that? And those are things that we forget as adults and as parents. And our children do need to play. Play is children's work. That is how they learn. That is how they figure things out. And we forget that sometimes.
Well, I'm so glad you brought this up too, because you mentioned a snowball fight with your kids or going out with your kids to play. But is that always the case? Do you always have to be actively involved in your child's play? Because quite honestly, we do a lot of that, but sometimes I feel like, no, this is your time to play with each other, with your siblings, and figure out your own imagination and do it on your own.
Yes, there is a definite balance there. And I wish I could say, this is the cookie cutter balance for every child, but there is no specific there. Some children need a lot of extra attention. Some children love to play independently, but there does need to be there does need to be that balance there with your family where they can go off and play for a little while by themselves so that you can cook dinner or you can get some work done or you can clean the house or do whatever you need to do independently. Because again, if we set our kids up for constantly needing an adult with them to facilitate play, then as soon as they go to daycare, preschool, kindergarten, whatever it is, they're not going to know how to do anything independent, and that is going to hurt them in the long run.
Yeah.
So we need to facilitate that and give them, empower them with that ability to play independently, but then also be able to share, take turns, and play actively with other people.
Some really great tips, especially as you mentioned on a good snow day to get outside with your kids too. Thank you, Patty.